What is wrong with this team? Everything. I don't know what is wrong. Like, it's just never easy, is it?
Lin Dunn didn't just criticize Stephanie White. She made a bold statement that sent shockwaves through the Indiana Fever fan base. Tensions in the Fever's front office have reached a whole new level, and the ripple effects could have real consequences for Caitlin Clark's development. This goes beyond internal drama. It raises big questions about how top talent is supported in the league. Should front office leadership influence coaching decisions when it comes to rising stars? Do you think Coach Stephanie White deserves more time, or is change needed? Share your thoughts in the comments below.
I'll say it. Fire Stephanie White. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Let's call it what it is. This is a full-blown spectacle, and I'm here to break down every twist and turn. The situation unfolding in Indianapolis has gone from tense to explosive, with Lin Dunn going scorched earth on social media. When a veteran executive starts putting internal issues on public display like this, it's not just drama. It's a clear sign of serious.
Like Lin Dunn posting, and this is again the former like GM of the Fever, who's now something to do with the Fever. I don't know what her role is. She goes, don't expect the players to do it if you don't drill it.
Let's rewind and look at how this season was supposed to unfold. The Indiana Fever came in like they were crafting the super team. Veterans with playoff credentials like Natasha Howard, Sophie Cunningham, and Sydney Colson. On paper, it looked like a dream roster. In practice, the results have been chaotic. Think toddler with paint levels of messy. But here's where things really unravel. It's not just about losing games. The deeper issue is how Caitlin Clark is being utilized. We're talking about one of the most dynamic scorers women's basketball has ever seen. A record breaker, a headline maker. And what's the game plan? Coach Stephanie White pulls the ball out of her hands and locks her into a stiff, unimaginative motion offense that's putting fans to sleep.
I mean, this offense looked awful, and Sydney Colson, my God, is terrible running point guard on this team. Terrible.
Now, for those lucky enough to have missed it, let me paint the picture. This motion offense, it's like watching a group play endless hot potato, just passing and hoping something eventually clicks. It's the kind of system you'd expect in a JV scrimmage, not on a pro court. And when you've got a generational talent like Caitlin Clark, running that offense isn't just ineffective, it's practically sabotage. It's like buying a Lamborghini and never taking it out of first gear.
Had 0 fast break points. 0 fast break points on the game. 0 fast break points. I don't care what this score ends up.
Just look at what Caitlin Clark accomplished at Iowa. She was the offense. She thrived in a free-flowing system, calling her own plays and lighting up the scoreboard night after night. Case in point, in a recent win over the Liberty, she was responsible for 54 points between scoring and assists. That's what happens when you let her lead. But Stephanie White seems unwilling to give her that freedom, forcing Clark into a rigid system that drains the spark right out of her game. And then, the internet blew up. Lin Dunn, the Fever's former GM, now tucked into a murky senior advisor role, had enough. She fired off a very pointed message on social media about not expecting players to execute things they haven't practiced. Sounds neutral at first, but come on. That post was pure shade, and everyone knows exactly who it was aimed at.
Stephanie White is getting destroyed today. Ken Swift posted this, a picture of what's supposed to be Christy's side.
And it wasn't just what Lin Dunn said. It was when she said it. Her post dropped right after another brutal loss where the Fever offense looked completely rudderless. Players were out of sync. Clark was visibly frustrated, and fans, they were one ugly possession away from a full-blown revolt. Dunn didn't just throw shade. She basically handed the internet a checklist of everything that's gone wrong under Stephanie White's leadership. And fans? They've stopped sugarcoating things. One brutally honest comment summed it up. The fans are turning on Stephanie White, and fast. These aren't casual viewers. These are die-hard Fever loyalists who sat through the rough seasons. If they're jumping ship this early, that's not a red flag. It's a neon billboard screaming trouble.
Like, they were embarrassingly bad without Caitlin Clark. They were just embarrassingly bad. And I mean this. A good coach will figure something out. A good coach will figure something out. Does this team play defense? No. No. I mean this. This team doesn't play defense. They've just gotten lucky. Teams miss shots. They've gotten lucky. Teams miss shots. They don't play defense. They still don't play defense. I know they held the Mystics to 83 points. This was a Mystics team who were not shooting well. They don't play defense. They don't defensive rebound. They don't put in any effort. And that's on coach. That is on the coach.
What makes this whole situation even more infuriating is that it was completely avoidable. People were raising red flags months ago, warning that forcing a creative, instinctive player like Caitlin Clark into a rigid motion offense was a disaster waiting to happen. They pleaded for the coaching staff to build around her strengths. But Stephanie White? She stuck to her system, convinced she knew best. And now, the results speak louder than ever. Here's where it really gets wild. White was recently fined for criticizing referees. But maybe, just maybe, the focus should be less on officiating and more on her own offensive scheme. Because what's sinking this team isn't a couple of missed calls. It's the fact that they're squandering a generational talent in real time. Let's bring in the numbers. When Clark is on the floor, the Fever's offensive rating is 107.5. When she's off, it plummets to 82.2. That's a jaw-dropping 25-point swing. Not just a dip, a full-on collapse.
I'm sorry. There is no way you can have 0 fast break points a team unless you are actively trying to not run. Unless you are trying to not run. You cannot have 0 fast break points as a team. Someone just said it, no defense, no offense, no fight. Outside of Lexi Hull and Aaliyah, or not even, I can't even blame Aaliyah Boston. She didn't touch the ball.
This so-called motion offense, in theory, it's meant to create rhythm, encourage read and react play, and foster flow. In reality, it chokes creativity, stalls momentum, and buries playmakers under robotic structure. And with someone like Caitlin Clark, who sees the game in 4K while others are still buffering, the last thing you want is her stuck passing sideways in a scripted loop. She should be improvising, launching dimes, bending defenses. Instead, they boxed her in. That's like telling Steph Curry to stick to lapes. And don't even get me started on the take the ball out of Clark's hand strategy. This is someone who led Iowa to back-to-back title games, shattered every scoring record in sight, turned the WNBA into appointment viewing, and made first-team All-WNBA as a rookie. You don't cage that kind of player. You set her loose.
But the Fever got rid of her, and the Fever got rid of her coach. They got rid of her, and they got rid of her coach. They got rid of exactly what she wanted to do. And you know what? I hate saying this. Lin Dunn was probably right when she said it should be a 5-year plan to improve. That the plan to improve should be a 5-year thing.
And here's the final blow. Lin Dunn isn't just some outsider throwing stones. She's the architect of the Indiana Fever's only championship run. She was the head coach when they took the title in 2012. She knows exactly what a winning culture looks like. So when she's the one sounding the alarm, it's not smoke, it's a full-blown fire. And if that still doesn't make you question Stephanie White's approach, just take a look around the league. Vegas with Audra Wilson. New York with Sabrina Ionescu. Those teams build around their stars. They don't force them to conform to rigid systems. They spotlight their strengths, empower their creativity, and trust them to lead. That's the blueprint, and Indiana's ignoring it.
I actually think that she was right in saying that. She was 100% right, and they fired her to quick fix it. Which is, a little bit disappointing. It is a little bit disappointing.
The Fever kicked off this season with championship expectations stamped on every game. Caitlin Clark didn't mince words. The mission was clear. Bring a title back to Indiana. But let's be real. How do you chase a ring when you won't even unleash your biggest weapon? It's like entering the Indy 500 with a 60 miles per hour speed limit. The WNBA is loaded right now. The Liberty are firing on all cylinders. The Lynx are still dangerous, and title-tested teams like Vegas and Phoenix are surging. If Indiana wants to be in that conversation, they can't play it safe. Sure, some rosters can thrive in a motion-heavy system, but this isn't one of them. This team isn't built for balance. It's built around a generational star who can flip a game in seconds with one no-look pass or logo 3. So, why force her into a template offense? You don't ask the Ferrari to idle. You build the track around it. This isn't just about schemes, it's about philosophy. Do you trust your superstar to create? Or do you keep yanking the reins and hope structure wins out? And now, with Lin Dunn's social post, what looked like a coaching critique has peeled back a much deeper issue: a fractured vision. A disconnect between the front office and coaching staff about how to develop the most important player in franchise history. This isn't about drills. It's about direction. Who gets to shape the identity of the Indiana Fever?
Fans turning against Steph. I mean, I turned against Steph in game 1. Sorry, not even game 1, game 2. Game 2. I turned against Steph. I legitimately just cannot believe this is going on. Like, we're turning into the Chicago Sky. Why are we turning into the Chicago Sky? Like, we're turning into this is just a dysfunction. It's becoming dysfunctional. Like, you're now seeing all these memes with Christy Sides and Caitlin, how's Stephanie White's offense treating you? And I mean this when I say it, it's pretty damn bad. Pretty damn bad when it comes